and welcome to an all-new episode of The Latest Thread, featuring our topic Creative Spark, where we share a photo of something that we've taken a picture of along the way and decided to play with some inspiration that we can take from the pictures to create some quilting designs. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll show you our next design that we're going to play with. And this picture here, I went on a quilt retreat, and this was kind of like a veranda they had on the outside where you can all just kind of sit outside and have your coffee. And this paw belongs to a great big giant Bernese mountain dog that used to come and visit us several times a day from some neighboring farm. And so that's the paw is just disgusting and wet. But the chair is what why I took the picture, because I really liked that kind of like woven, that interwoven. I guess the woven is the best way. I don't even know what else to describe that look of almost like stairs or something in there. I really liked it. So I thought I'll take a picture of it, and you never know, one day I might be able to use that in a quilt. And I'm sure we all have stuff like that in our camera rolls. So here we go. We will show you some of the ideas that we came up with, talk about how we did that, and show you some stitch outs of our ideas. Here's our first one.
So that's mine. And I couldn't stop focusing on that chevron look. So I just did some really squared woven chevronish feathers. That's a lot of words.
Square feathers.
Square feathers. But I wanted like to alternate, because I hate when everything with quilting you can pull the eye right off of the quilt, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I changed directions. So, and they also nest a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, quilted. I spaced them
cool.
out a little wider and less woven. So
when you kind of squint at it, it just kind of has this like wave thing all the way across.
Yes.
It's like those curtains on the stage that pull up like this.
Oh yeah, those bunchy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Really hard to focus on, to see where the break is, because the way it flows, it just goes on and on. You can't see where one ends and the other one starts unless you really stop blinking.
Well, this one's a good example of like, it didn't look like that drawn.
Yeah.
And then once you see it stitched and the texture, and
it kind of reminds me of like tractor tire tracks.
Tire tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody's trying to think of how to put tire tracks on a quilt, that's
Gotta do it.
that'll do it. Very cool. The red fabric also adds to that idea of the drapery, because that, the fancy red drapes in the theater. That's neat.
I just realized
velvet.
No. I realized how woven that drawing was, and I'm like, oh, that's like a lot of close to backtracking. So
yeah, cute.
This is me, I think. Pretty sure. Guess we'll see. And this is just all that I marked because, well, you can kind of see the one line drawn on there a little bit darker diagonally.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
And I just stitched up and back down and then echoed it. So it kind of gives that woven look on the right, but then I thought it'll be too plain if I do that on both sides. So since I started with that 1-inch grid, it was easy to do just this totally random grid over on the left side because.
And it still pulls from the back of the wicker chair. If you look at in the photo, the back is just kind of
down here.
Yeah, it's not chevron.
A regular checkerboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I like those kind of designs.
I think it would have been okay if you had done the same thing on the left, because then it literally would have looked like the squares would have been floating. But probably added more interest overall by using the grid design on the left.
Well, and I can tell you another reason why it's not over there. Do you know where how much awkward roller holding I would have done to
Yeah.
get that side? Because it would have been like, you know,
Jody, you could have turned the quilt.
oh, I couldn't have.
It was a joke.
But yeah, you really captured the like when I squint at it and look at it, I can see like a diagonal row of steps kind of really pop out in the picture, the original picture, but then in your quilting in the top right hand corner, that exact effect
Mm-hmm.
is there. And it's just a line direction change.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nothing but an echo. An
Mhm.
echo, an echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like those squares are sailing in from the corner.
Like it.
Oh, this is purple. This is mine. So this one, Karen got your wish. This is similar to yours. So those are my boundary lines, and little dotted line is the center. So I did kind of a braided feather.
Mhm. It's close. Yeah.
Close. So this is like a spineless feather, but I stacked them right next to each other so that you get that little braided effect in the middle.
Very neat.
And again, I changed direction, so it gave it some extra motion.
Mm-hmm.
I love changing the direction because it just is more, I don't know what. They always seem to interlock nicer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do. This is mine, and I did a couple of different drawings there to kind of see what I thought was going to work the best. I wanted it to have that diagonal kind of feel to it. And then when I quilted it out, I figured out what worked the best, which was the next picture, which didn't involve the wavy lines, just those diagonals and that stair step down. So just like a 2-inch grid there, and just picked points on that stencil to make my little stair steps.
Mm-hmm.
I like
cool.
it.
Cute.
Cool.
Reminds me of like Tetris shapes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said it because I'm like, turn.
I know, I just want to push the rotate button. It's not going to fit there.
Very cool.
Mhm.
And that works on a busy grid. I'm
Mhm.
busy print. Not
Yeah.
grid.
That background is kind of almost looks like a solid, but it still is got a pattern to it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Like it's very different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. If you put it on point too, like if you kind of tilt your head and look at it as if it was on point, that would be really cool design, like quilted out on point as well.
I want to see them go the opposite ways if you put it on point. So like one goes
Yeah.
this way and then
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
very cool.
And see, we get inspiration from a stitched picture that somebody else stitched in
Yeah.
a whole new direction. That's cool.
And that one is mine. Yeah, I didn't want to do the diagonal. So I thought I'm going to do exactly what I did. I don't know the words to explain it, but I wanted to just do these random, like, parts of it, the steps, and then mirror that. And it almost has a southwestern
Mm-hmm.
feel to it. And that's what I did.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's neat.
You still get that diagonal effect in there, even though all your lines are vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't see it. Sorry, Paula.
Well, the little
Yeah, you can see it.
It looks
Yeah,
like a
you got
little,
the diamond
Yeah.
shape.
yeah.
Hmm.
like little stairs.
Yep.
And then I see like a missing puzzle piece. Like
Mm.
that's what it reminds me of. Mhm.
Well, I saw it as, oh, these are the pipes of an organ.
Oh
When,
yeah.
that are hanging
Ah.
down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see it too now.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that was actually fun because, even though I wanted to make sure my lines were straight, I did mark them all out and used the ruler. But that was fun.
It would be cute to see more of those shapes kind of nested throughout, like kind of.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Because
Alternated, like,
yeah, offset.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it would have been more of a mosaic kind of
Mhm.
line. You're right.
Fun.
But 10-inch square, so
Yeah, exactly.
and time restraint. So there's that.
No, I like it.
I like it.
Okay, this is my drawing, and I like feathers and straight lines together. Like feathers and piano key, just feel like they fit on a quilt, and like nice contrast to each other. And I liked that whole like stepping where like one row kind of pops out a little bit more than the other. Looks like it's kind of in front. So that's what I wanted to create with a diagonal effect of the feathers going in alternating directions and then the straight lines in behind. And I thought after I did my second row of straight lines that, oh no, I didn't draw straight lines to make sure that my lines were all lining up with each other from one row to the next. But then when I stood back and looked at it, you can't really tell that they're not perfectly lined up with the row that's beside it because of that break of feathers in between. So it just makes it look like that's a straight line background and the feathers are just going back and forth on top of it.
Just placed over it. Mm-hmm.
It's
And I-
sometimes we overthink,
Mhm.
because we know that there's these unspoken rules that in order to not distort from the effect of the design, it has to be a certain way. When
Mhm.
in reality, we can clearly see, based on the movement of the feathers, it really makes no difference.
Yeah. Like I'm purposely trying to see where they aren't lining up, and it's really hard. Like it's really distracting. So sometimes we think we need to do more work than we actually do, right? So,
Right.
but
Right.
follow the
We
same
overthink.
idea. Yeah, go ahead.
Not us, Jeannie. None of us ever overthink.
Never.
I don't know who you're talking about.
It almost seems too like those lines almost look like a pattern on the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like the feathers are appliqued over top or something.
Mhm.
Cool.
And I mean, even if I had done like maybe a tone on tone thread instead of the contrasting thread, that would even make even more of a like a dimensional difference
Mhm.
for the background, just to have not used the same color of thread too, to make the feathers even jump out even more. But yeah.
It would look really nice.
Yeah.
In different threads would make that a
Mhm.
whole different look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. Well, I think that is all of our pictures, if I'm guessing correctly. Yes, I am. So this is our next one. It's wild and crazy, and it reminds me of the cartoon character on Brave. You know that one with she's got the red hair and it's like all crazy and curly and up. So yeah, this is an
It's a
awesome photo.
holy glass exhibit, except it's in
Oh.
Florida, so there's tons of spiders in it.
Oh wow, wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, it is super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So we hope you guys have been inspired. We hope we get to see some things that you guys want to draw up based on either our drawings or quilted samples or the original pictures. We'd love to see where you take it. And we can't wait to share with you some new things with this inspiration photo for our next episode of Creative Spark on the latest thread. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.